Ahoy there, mateys! Welcome back to The Compass, your guide to the world's greatest mysteries. Today we dive deep into the ocean's depths to uncover the truth behind one of the most terrifying legends ever told, the Kraken. This colossal sea monster has haunted the nightmares of sailors for centuries, dragging entire ships into the abyss. But what's the real story behind the legend? Grab your life jackets and hold on tight as we explore 15 fascinating facts about the Kraken. Are you ready to face the beast? Let's embark on this epic voyage. Our journey begins in the icy waters of Norway, where the legend of the Kraken first took shape. The Kraken comes from Norwegian folklore, and the first tales date back to the 13th century. According to the Norse legend, hero Orvar Otter and his son encountered two terrifying sea creatures. These encounters were so extraordinary that they were later detailed in the Konungs Skuggsja, a Norwegian educational text. The name Kraken itself derives from the Norwegian word krak, which means an unhealthy animal or something twisted, and is likely related to the German word for octopus. Imagine being a Viking sailor, braving the treacherous seas, only to see an enormous beast rising from the depths, its tentacles reaching for your ship. Talk about a bad day at sea. While today we often picture the Kraken as a giant squid, early accounts described it differently. The original Kraken was more crab-like, with spindly appendages and a shell-like body. These descriptions paint a picture of a creature with massive claws, ready to snap ships in half. Over time, the depiction of the Kraken evolved, merging with tales of giant squids to create the monstrous hybrid we know today. Can you imagine the look on a sailor's face thinking they've encountered an island only to realize it's a giant crab ready to make them its next meal? One thing is consistent in all Kraken tales: its enormous size. Accounts vary, but descriptions range from the length of 10 ships to an astonishing 1.5 miles long. Some stories even tell of sailors mistaking the Kraken for an island, attempting to land on it, only to be dragged down into the ocean depths. It's safe to say that if you see an island suddenly start moving, it's time to row the other way. Talk about a rude awakening. One minute you're setting up camp, the next you're fighting for your life against a mile-long monster. How do you know when the Kraken is coming? Sailors learned to watch for telltale signs: gurgling bubbles, surfacing fish, and an unusual abundance of jellyfish. These indicators meant something massive was moving below. Unfortunately, these signs didn't give sailors enough time to escape. The Kraken's sheer size and numerous tentacles made it an almost impossible predator to evade. Imagine you're a sailor seeing fish leap out of the water like they're late for an appointment. You'd probably think, well, this can't be good. And you'd be right. In the 1750s, Bishop Erik Pontoppidan wrote about the Kraken in his book, The Natural History of Norway. He proposed an unusual theory: Kraken feces worked as fish bait. According to Pontoppidan, the Kraken ate a massive amount of fish, and its waste was so enticing to other fish that they would gather around it. The Kraken could then easily capture its next meal, creating a continuous cycle of bait and catch. Who knew that even mythical monsters had their own recycling program? Talk about a self-sustaining buffet. The Kraken myth has faced scrutiny from some of history's greatest minds. In 1848, the British frigate Daedalus reported seeing a sea monster estimated to be 60 feet long, causing a sensation. Sir Richard Owen, the scientist who coined the term dinosaur, argued they had seen a seal, sparking a heated debate with the Daedalus's captain, who insisted they knew the difference between a seal and a sea monster. This debate raged until 1873, when a fisherman finally caught a giant squid, lending some credence to the Kraken legend. It's like arguing with your friend about whether that thing you saw was a UFO or just a plane. Sometimes, you just have to wait for the proof. Even the father of biological systematics, Carl von Linné, took the Kraken seriously. In his seminal work, Systema Naturae, published in 1735, he listed the Kraken as a real organism. This inclusion by such a respected scientist of the time added a layer of legitimacy to the legend, making it more than just a sailor's tall tale. When one of the greatest minds in science lists you as real, you've got some serious credibility, at least until better evidence comes along. While there's no solid evidence of mile-long monsters, the deep sea does house some impressive creatures. Giant squids, for instance, can weigh anywhere from 300 to 600 pounds. These elusive giants rarely surface, leading to sailors confusing underwater volcanic activity with Kraken sightings. Bubbles, dangerous currents, and the sudden appearance of new land are all signs of such activity, especially around Iceland. Next time you see bubbles and fish acting weird, remember it might just be Mother Nature having a little underwater barbecue, not a giant squid looking for a snack. But what if there was a kraken? Fossils of ichthyosaurs, ancient marine reptiles, have been found in patterns similar to those created by octopuses with their prey. One ribcage even shows signs of constriction, as if a large tentacle had wrapped around it. Given that ichthyosaurs could reach lengths of 30 feet, it would take a truly massive cephalopod to take one down. Imagine a battle in the prehistoric seas, with giant sea monsters locked in combat. It's like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie, only this one has some real historical backing. In the late 1700s, French zoologist Pierre Denys de Montfort was convinced of the Kraken's existence. After hearing accounts from ship captains about giant tentacles and studying old artwork, he claimed that the Kraken was responsible for the disappearance of 10 ships in 1782. Unfortunately, those ships were lost in a hurricane, not to a sea monster, and de Montfort's reputation was ruined. Poor de Montfort, he was so close to proving the legend only to be undone by a pesky hurricane. Sometimes even the most passionate scientists can be a bit overzealous. Legend says the Kraken prefers solitude, residing deep on the ocean floor, using its tentacles to anchor itself. It only surfaces in warm weather or when disturbed. This reclusive nature adds to the mystery and fear surrounding the creature. Picture this. A serene ocean suddenly erupts as the Kraken rises, tentacles thrashing. It's no wonder sailors dreaded encountering this beast. Despite its mythical status, the Kraken doesn't possess any magical powers. Its terrifying reputation comes purely from its immense size and strength. Unlike other mythical creatures, sailors didn't have to worry about it casting spells or flying out of the water. Some modern stories add a twist, suggesting that defeating the Kraken grants you a wish, but that's far from the original Norwegian folklore. Nice try, sailor. No wishes here, just a lot of tentacles and a really bad day at sea. Sailors feared not only the Kraken itself, but also the aftermath of its descent. As the Kraken plunged back into the depths, it was believed to create a massive whirlpool, dragging ships down with it. This added another layer of danger, making it clear that the Kraken's presence was a threat even after it had vanished. Just when you think you've survived the Kraken, you get sucked into a whirlpool. Talk about adding insult to injury. Most legends speak of the Kraken in singular terms, but some tales suggest there could be more than one of these giants lurking in the deep. Imagine navigating through waters where multiple Krakens could strike at any moment. The sea would become an even more terrifying place. One Kraken is bad enough, but a whole family reunion, that's a sailor's worst nightmare. Despite, or perhaps because of, its terrifying reputation, the Kraken has become a pop culture icon. From ancient poems and novels to modern TV shows, video games and movies, the Kraken continues to capture our imaginations. Its enduring presence in popular culture ensures that the legend of the Kraken will never truly fade away. The Kraken might be a myth, but its legacy is very real. From the tales of ancient mariners to the screens of our modern devices, this legendary sea monster continues to fascinate and terrify. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the legend of the Kraken. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and always keep an eye on the horizon. Thanks for watching The Compass. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more incredible journeys into the world's greatest mysteries.